Another video, same outfit. Glass of wine. Let's have a witchy chat, shall we? Today I want to talk about, we should rewind first. Hi, Sam, this is Shadow Harvest. I'm doing Youtober. Video every single day for the month of Youtober. All of that, so now let's get on with it. Let's talk about community belief versus individual belief and the weird balance that those two things have really come into kind of like the bedrock, less bedrock, more soil. Foundation-y. It's dirt. It can shift a bit, but like it's still pretty solid. It's underneath your feet. You get where I'm going with this. That those two things hold for me. Because I think in so many ways, this is something that kind of feeds into all the different levels of things. And it kind of will feed into videos and discussions I want to have down the line. When it comes to community and communal thinking, communal belief, there's huge importance in that. And it's something I've leaned more and more into as the more I've explored my craft. I think I started from a very individualistic place because one, can only control the self. Two, feels more safe. And it is interesting to explore. But I feel like as so many others, at some point you get to this place where you start pressing on things and you realize that there are stuff that is entirely out of your control. This new age toxic positivity thing of, oh, it's all in your control and you can totally magic your way out of it. You just have to believe enough or change yourself enough or just do something. It's all on you. You are the reason that your life is shitty. No, we don't do that. And eventually you come around to, oh, okay, well then that means that the community does have an effect on me. The world at large, this outer thing, is affecting me in all the different ways. I think in so many ways this goes back to my idea and my personal beliefs, of course, grains of salt here, is the idea that the world is built on a much more chaotic level. There is less order than I would want to believe. Chaos is happening, and from that chaos comes creation, both good and bad. It's all over the place. But when you have enough chaotic elements kind of seemingly working towards a goal, aka people, animals, what have you, when things start realizing that if they work together, a collaboration to create something of general good for the whole community, order seems to suddenly be imposed. It seems like there's more of order, when really the chaos is still the major foundation. It's just that because enough little pieces have all come together, it seems somewhat orderly. You see where I'm going with this? And so, and with it, there is that level of individual pursuit and pushing on things. You have to kind of decide to what level you are going to invoke your own actions, reactions, your magic, your intention, all of that. But I think it's also then therefore very important to recognize that your intention only gets you so far when you realize that there is possibly an entire community surrounding you, people, political structures, whatever the fuck else, you know what I mean, animals, nature, yada yada yada, that have all kind of built this randomly ordered thing. You are not playing with open chaos. You are not the sole person injecting your intention into the world. Other shit is fucking with it. So then you could either kind of work with the other communal aspects that are coming in, or you could go consciously, I think, or unconsciously choose to go against it to a sense. Maybe try to convince other communal aspects to your side, restructure in a way, try to reimagine, and through that can create a lot of power. I honestly do truly believe in the idea that if enough people or beings at large take on a certain idea, I think there is a level of group intention that kind of then makes a little bit of a foundation within that order, that it kind of becomes a rule for us on the individual level. There is a level of structure that happens around that, and a power that comes from enough people gathering around a thing. With this, I mean the idea of, like, if enough people believe in certain associations with herbs, it seems to do a thing. Some of this even comes into fact out proven scientific method. The reason certain things are seen in relation to health and longevity and yada 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 is because an herb way back in the day was thought to be associated with the thing, and just through the scientific method and constant processing down the line, we then discovered, oh hey, medicine. Willow bark make aspirin. Like, this makes pain go away. But I don't necessarily think that the group intention possibly brought them around. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. But I do think there's a level of power in a bunch of people coming together and believing in one thing. I do think that one of the reasons that any larger than single person entity would even mess with us, play with us, do whatever, is because all of us believing in them, having some sort of faith, sending energy to them in offerings, in meditations, does then grant them power, does then give them energy, a boost. I think the same way when you kind of feel a sense of community around yourself, if you say are sick or not feeling all that well, maybe you're having trouble mentally, and maybe you have a bunch of friends or family or a partner of some sense, if some people suddenly come help you out and you feel appreciated, you feel that intention and that energy come towards you, you suddenly feel a little more invigorated. Even if no other physical aspect has changed, you feel that appreciation that you are here and that others care for you. And I feel like that energy is palpable. There is a little bit of, oh, I'm okay. I can gather up a little something more to do something better here. It's one of the reasons why community is so important. And I think in so many ways then this levels out how I view things, because there is a certain then questioning of when do you join with the community or join with the common thing, and when do you break away from it? When has a common law or order become, I wouldn't say necessarily negative, but maybe limiting is the good word. Because if the natural order is chaos, anything can happen. So anything can happen, good, bad, whatever, in the middle, all the ranges. Then I think a lot of times, so often, the order is just, oh, well, this is now the structure. And someone goes, yeah, but there is another possibility if you break this order. And everyone's like, no, 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 keep the order, keep the order. It must stay this way. No, but go this way. And then it becomes a little bit of a convincing thing. And then from there, orders can start changing. I think of this in the way of the interpretations and interactions and changing of history and myth, and how in so many ways that this is not necessarily a bad or a good thing. It's, again, very neutral, as I'm saying. It's just a different line of thinking. It is just maybe breaking off a limitation, reimagining it. Could be negative, could be positive, could be neutral, who knows? And I want to do a whole video on that in itself, so. But getting back to the main point of it, is just the idea that my individualness is important because I am a certain being here in this chaotic realm, and I can invoke my intention in my magic and my purpose. But when it comes to my magic, when it comes to society at large, I would be fighting against myself in the world and making things a lot harder if I weren't looking into what structures were already made and in place by community. There could be a very advantageous reason why certain things have been laid out the way they are. Certain herbs have an intention. Certain herbs are in crystals, and all these things have a certain association, and they've been kind of been brought up by this group thinking, possibly for a reason. And until I look into that and know what that is, I won't know whether it's a good thing or not to go with the group or to try to break against it. And I think also too, then just constantly acknowledging that that group mind order that is there is a stronger order than one individual. So that means if I'm going to break away from something, it's just kind of knowing then that, all right, well then that means this is going to be a little more difficult. I may still very well choose to do that because of morals, just plain curiosity. There's a variety of reasons as to why. It's still important to acknowledge that it's there. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, comments to you guys down below. How much do you feel are you very individualistic in your thinking? Because as always, grains of salt with all these videos. My opinion is just my opinion. Do you have a more inherent line with community, that we can't get anything done without a community aspect? Relying more on maybe coven-based magics, group think, all that stuff. All that in the comments down below. Are you more middle ground like me, where it seems to be a little bit of everything and you kind of dabble and stuff? But anyway, that was today's video. Community versus individualistic magic. And today not for you, for me, is the autumn equinox as I am filming this. So that means I have scheduled a little wine, a little tarot, and a little offering to Persephone, as she is most likely either on her way down somewhere, already down there. The underworld thingy is happening with transition and fall is a coming, and so we like to send off her in style this time of year with me. So I'm gonna go do that, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.